In this episode, Terry Cartwright, a 35-year-old mother of 5, is happy to be scuba diving. Playful sea lions swim smoothly past her. She finds herself surrounded by them. She stops briefly to straighten her hearing, but this stop leads to her death. This is Terry Cartwright's dreadful shark attack. What happened and why? Find out in the video. Welcome to Wild Assault. 1993 on June 5, a Saturday. Ian and Terry Cartwright, a husband and wife team, were sailing out to sea with their 5 kids. In Bass Strait, off the coast of Tasmania, Ian was in command of the Australian Maritime College ship River Rescue. They were on their way to the 10th Island Barrenjoey seal convoy. With up to 400 sea lion pups born each year, this island is a significant breeding colony of Australian sea lions living on an unoccupied granite outcrop. There are great diving and snorkeling opportunities in the area, which is a natural reserve. For the sake of scientific inquiry and marine biodiversity, this area needs to be preserved. Terry Cartwright collaborated with academics at the University of Tasmania's Australian Maritime College. Stephen Ears, a lecturer in marine fisheries at the institution, and his colleague Josephine Osborne were among the other divers on board River Esco. Terry and Josephine had been invited by Stephen to participate in the study and watch the sea lions' antics. Terry was anxious to participate and see how the sea lions interacted with humans. They have a reputation in the area for being highly sociable with divers, frequently being playful, and approaching the people in the water up close. Ian was instructed to anchor in a waterway on the island's southern side by Terry. After navigating the boat to the location, Ian let go of the anchor chain. The depth reading indicated 15 meters, and the distance to the mainland was around 150 meters. The kids of Ian and Terry peered over the edge of the boat to witness the anchors splash into the sea before sinking to the bottom. Terry, Stephen, and Josephine had little trouble putting on their gear because of the calm waters. Terry put on a wetsuit that came in 2 pieces. She slipped into her yellow fins and drew the hood up over her head. Terry clipped the yellow air cylinder Stephen had placed on her back. First to jump into the water was Stephen. He gave the rest of the crew the all-clear before starting to swim away from the boat. Terry was the next to step into the water, shortly followed by Josephine. Terry was a skilled scuba diver, but it had been over a year since she had last been in the water. Returning to the sea world she so much loved made her happy. Terry signaled that she was all right once she was in the water, but she was having trouble with her gear. She assumed Terry was following closely behind them, so she bobbed around on the surface while attempting to adjust the regulator and her mask. As they did so, Stephen and Josephine started swimming on the water's surface in the direction of 10th Island. Seals approached them while swimming. Their masks were millimeters away from their whiskered faces. Underwater, Stephen ducked his head. The sea lions were coming up to the divers' feet and then swimming back down beneath them, darting everywhere. The ocean was buzzing with activity. Terry was signaled to go quickly and catch up to the others by Terry's husband, Ian, and another crew member, Ian Rankin. It was safer for them to keep together as a group because she was falling behind. As Terry had finished setting up her gear, she turned around to see her pals standing 20 meters away. To catch up, she swam. Terry, a fit 35-year-old, quickly caught up to the others despite not having been in the water for a while. The 3 of them floated on the water's surface together for a little while before diving down to within a few meters of 10th Island's rocky outcrop. Terry was in awe of the view as they descended beneath the ocean's surface. She marveled at the excellent vision as she observed the sea lions gliding by with ease. After reaching the ocean's bottom, Stephen and Josephine turned to look up. Terry stopped moving downward. The pressure in Terry's ears increased. She blew and squeezed her nose, but nothing happened. The pressure in her ears increased as she kept going deeper. She made numerous attempts to balance her ears. Then, out of nowhere, she felt a tremendous force strike her. As she was hurled through the water, it knocked the air out of her lungs. She had the regulator pulled out of her lips, and a flurry of bubbles engulfed her. Just above the ocean floor, Stephen and Josephine were floating. As they say, a big white shark measuring 15 feet long torpedoed right through Terry. The shark approached Terry once more as she whirled around. She cried out softly while air bubbles were escaping from her mouth as its gigantic mouth encircled her torso. Stephen and Josephine watched in horror as the shark devoured their companion, tossing her corpse around in the water as it did so as a shadow of red swallowed her. They barely dared to peep out from behind the submerged rocks. All of the sea lions scattered, swimming away or leaping onto the island from the water. The two divers stood still in shock. They were frantic to get to Terry, but they were unable to see the shark. Suddenly, as Stephen made a beeline for Terry's lifeless corpse, they noticed the shark's toothy grin poking through the blood-stained muck. At 16 mph, its strong tail propelled it through the water. Its enormous jaws opened out once more and seized Terry once more as its top lip curled backward. She was dragged deeper and deeper until Terry was no longer visible. As quickly as they could, Stephen and Josephine surfaced after making a beeline for the island. From the boat, Ian and the kids had been watching. When Stephen and Josephine scurried out of the water and onto 10th Island, they had noticed a disturbance, but they were oblivious of the horror that had occurred in the depths. They begged Ian to bring the boat over in a loud voice. Seeing that Terry hadn't surfaced and realizing there was some sort of emergency. Hearing the heartbreaking news about his wife, Ian Cartwright and Ian Rinkin hurried into the 11-foot dinghy and rowed as swiftly as they could to the island. Ian, who was inconsolable, took over and spent more than 30 minutes searching the surroundings and his boat. The family's 6-year-old quadruplets and 11-month-old son were waiting patiently on the boat when he had to break the heartbreaking news to them because Terry was nowhere to be seen above the water. A marine and air search was launched when Ian radioed Bell Bay for assistance. A kilometer from the scene of the incident, remnants of Terry's wetsuit were discovered in the afternoon. Also taken from the water was one of her legs that still had the yellow fin attached. Terry left no other traces behind. We must always keep in mind that we are among predators of all kinds and that this is their domain, not ours, when we are in the enthralling underwater realm of the marine environment. Great white sharks visit the seas off 10th Island because there is an abundance of prey there. Little sea lion pups that have little experience in the water are often taken. Any injured sea lions or stragglers are easy prey for a 15-foot great white. Given her mostly black attire and surroundings, she might have been mistaken for a sea lion in distress. Many people think Terry Cartwright's horrible wild assault was caused by a case of mistaken identity, a devastating and heartbreaking instance of mistaken identity.